Live and local, it's time for Fan Sports Sunday. If the weekend is a big desert for sports talk, think of this show as an oasis.
Yes, here we go.
Come drink from our pool of hot takes as you quench your thirst with. I thought I was going somewhere, but I'm not. So let's just start the show.
I think for the first time in the history of this station, somebody's going to be doing a show on the Fan while they're doing calf stretches. Happy Sunday and good afternoon. Eric Reiser, T-Bone. We are live outside of Ohio Stadium for the Ohio State 4-miler. Hopefully everybody who's run it or is running it, I guess nobody's out on the field right now, got by injury-free.
Yeah.
We're really thrilled to be out here. Thank you for listening, of course, as always. Bone, how you feeling?
I'm good. I didn't run anything. You did. So, Reiser, how are you feeling after running your 4 miles? What was your time?
My hammies hurt.
What was your time?
35 minutes.
Jeez.
And some
That's
seconds.
great. That's great. Good job, buddy.
Thanks.
You were hitting 8.5-minute miles out there. That's pretty good.
The goal was 9, and somehow 8:30 was the pace that they gave me.
There you go. Look at you. No, that's I'll tell you, I've done this event before. This OSU 4-miler is a lot of fun, and that's one of the things that, this running community is, even though I'm not the biggest runner in the world, maybe I am the biggest, but you know what I mean. I don't do it that often, but when I do, I always enjoy coming out here because the people are great.
Yep.
There's always a good atmosphere, and that's what we enjoy about coming to events like this OSU 4-miler, of course, in the shadow of Ohio Stadium. We had the spring game yesterday, which we're going to talk about. We have all this stuff going on in Columbus sports-wise, but this is one of those things where it's one of the few events where, as a fan of a sport, if you are a fan of running, you actually get to participate in these type of things, and there's really nothing like it. If you enjoy running at all or run walking, this is the type of event you want to be a part of. People finishing on the 50-yard line at Ohio Stadium.
That's the community aspect of it, I think, is really the coolest for me. Just getting down here, about 8 o'clock this morning, this place was already packed. And we want to thank our friends at M3S Sports, our wonderful partners, for putting this event on. It was the 13th year that they've done this here at Ohio Stadium. And the idea that you can run around campus kind of unencumbered without having to worry about a car hitting you is a definite plus. As someone who loves running around the Tri-Village area in the city of Columbus, it's gorgeous.
Having the roads blocked off for the runners is not a bad thing if you're not in the car waiting to get somewhere. But, it's nice for the runners to not have to worry about that.
So about 12,000 people, and we'll have the race director of the Ohio State 4-miler, really the wizard of all of these running events in Columbus, David Babner, on with us sometime during the program. We're here till 1:05. We're your Cincinnati Reds pre-game festivities.
Yeah.
And Babner will come on and talk about what this event means, not only to the Ohio State community, but to the city of Columbus. And Cap City's in 2 weeks, and I know that's a huge event for them. And we're doing this in conjunction with our event that we're so excited to bring for you. Saturday, June 21st in Westerville. We're doing 971 the race. The inaugural event is going to feature a 1-mile fun run walk, a 5K, it's about 3.2 miles, and then the 971K is just slightly over 6 miles.
I think it's 6 on the dot. But, it's metric to imperial. Very difficult conversions. I'm not good with them.
Understandably, if people are going, 971, I don't want to have to do that conversion. But with all of these events, I think what they do such a good job of, and by them I mean M3S Sports, is everybody, you can run, you can walk, you have pace setters, you have people that will be all along the race with you, kind of encouraging you to do whatever. Because the idea that, you're not just going to get up off the couch and do a 9.71K, but maybe if you've ever wanted to run a 5K, you join us for the 1-mile event.
I'm doing the 5K, and I'm not actively running right now, but I'm going to get there by the time this rolls around. You got a few months. There's a lot of couch to 5K programs you can do, stuff like that. You can walk 3 miles in less than an hour. Usually most people can. So, it's an event we hope you'll come out to. And if you miss this event, next year, sign up for the OSU 4-miler. This could be your start. Come to the 971, the race, and then get into some of the other races that they're out there, or the fun runs. They're all, there's always good aspects of this. A lot of good community aspects here. We always enjoy it. But, man, I'll tell you, Ohio Stadium this weekend, it's been the epicenter. Just 40,000 people in there yesterday. A little lower crowd probably than what I would have expected for the spring game, but this is the first time we get to see the Buckeyes on the field since they won the national championship. They got their rings yesterday. It was a great ceremony out there. It was a lot of fun.
You see those rings.
Oh, There's something, right?
So when you finish on the 50 for the Ohio State 4-miler, and if you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see this gigantic medal. That thing's gorgeous. The ring was about the size of that.
Yeah.
And so it's less of a ring, more of a trophy. And so it was a great celebration yesterday of what was won in 2024 by this Ohio State team that will not only go down as one of the greatest runs ever in college football, but you're sitting there watching, and Tyvis, we're going to try to wrangle, did a wonderful job for the Big Ten Network on the sidelines, but we don't know any of these guys.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is so new for everybody involved.
And it's interesting. I think there's this dichotomy in Ohio State sports where you have the people who live on the message boards, which is great. You have the people who follow recruiting every day, and they are, and I envy you, because I know there are a lot of people who are Ohio State fans who say, I watch Ohio State football. That is the sports that is in total sports plural. That's all I engage with. And I engage with college football because of it. I engage with recruiting because of it. I engage with high school sports because I want to know who's going to be next up in the state to represent the Buckeyes. But then beyond that, like that's your lane. That's what you care about. You might watch your NFL team, but that's mainly you. Then there are the other people who are like, either they don't watch Ohio State as intensely or they just watch all the sports, who are coming into yesterday going, who's this Mylan Graham dude? Who are all
Hero
these?
of the spring.
Yeah, right. Like, and that's good too. Like I think that's where I tend to land more is, even though I do this for work, I do know some of these recruits' names. We've heard them because we've announced, hey, this guy signed today, whatever. But, seeing them on the field for the first time, it gives you a little bit more appreciation what some of these guys can do. And then it gives you hope, gives you excitement for the next year. And then you start automatically, if you really dive into it, back to the message boards. Yep. You go, oh, wait, they're saying this dude is going to be, no, don't worry about him. It's this other guy that really is the one they like. And then we can debate all that stuff. You can get all the, hypothesizing out there, but that's what yesterday was, the culmination of spring football. And now we got a few months to chew on all that as we get ready for next season for Ohio State.
Yeah, you got about 5 months until that game against Texas. And for those of you who care, Team Scarlet won 50-31 was the final score yesterday.
I've always been a Team Scarlet guy. You know that about me.
Big Team Scarlet guy.
Big Team Scarlet guy.
Until I DIE. The only two knowns for this Ohio State team are 2 and 4. Right? Yeah. Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Smith. And I think the thing that we thought was that this was going to be a quarterback battle that was going to be Julian Saints to lose. Yesterday, after watching a handful of reps, you kind of walked away feeling the same.
Yeah.
Barring a collapse in the fall, he's your quarterback week one against Texas.
Yeah, I don't think that Lincoln Kienholz would be a bad option there either.
Nope.
But it's one of those choices that Ryan Day has to make that I'm like you. I thought it was kind of more like the last few years where we have said, all right, there's a quarterback battle, but we tend to know who the guy is going to be. We think we know who's going to get the nod. Even last year with Will Howard, it's like they were saying similar things last year. Like, well, I got to see more from these guys. It's like, yeah, but one of these guys transferred in from Kansas State as a fifth-year starter. I think that guy's going to win the job. Now there is a lot more uncertainty. Yes, Julian Sain has been here. Lincoln Kienholz has been here. He's like the all-American high school athlete who's done everything. And you got Tavian St. Clair waiting, the true freshman coming in, who obviously hasn't played as much football as those other guys in Ohio State's uniform and facilities. But these are all the options before Ryan Day. I tend to think, like you, that it's still Julian Sain. Yep. But just give it another couple weeks and give it a little bit more speculation, and the tide will turn again.
Oh, we're cranking it up, brother. Only until August 29th are we going to be talking about who's going to be QB1, because they're not going to tip their hand, and they shouldn't.
No.
This needs to be a quarterback competition in every sense of the word. And yes, we can stand up here and we can say that waka waka, it's going to be his job to lose. But they need to have those two dudes, and even Tavian, in case of emergency, break glass, to have guys ready to go through this season. From what we saw last year was a college football season that was unprecedented. This is going to be more of that.
Yeah, agreed. It's unlike anything we've ever seen. And then there's all kinds of drama down south. The Hillbillies are all mad in Tennessee because they had a big thing with their quarterback. You got that drama going on. It's been an interesting sports weekend, Reiser, because we had all that drama in college football.
It's been great.
And spring game and NIL stuff. And then you've got the Masters this weekend with Rory coming back. And can he seal the deal,
right? This has the potential to be one of the greatest comeback stories in golf, or one of the greatest train wrecks in sport.
Well, what is it, 2011, where he was leading by 4 going into the final day and then absolutely imploded? Don't want to see that, but Bryson DeChambeau sits right there, ready to pounce. Had a nice getting off 18 yesterday, drains one from the fringe.
Scotty Scheffler still in the forest? Like, is he still?
Yeah, he's there.
The number one golfer in the world's got to figure his stuff out, just like us.
I also learned that the guy whose name is spelled A-B-E-R-G is pronounced Oberg.
Oberg,
so
yeah.
Oberg, that dude, he's in it. I know that. But yeah, I actually found myself last night. I'm not a huge golf guy, but I'm watching on 15 when Rory drains his eagle putt, and I actually gave a yeah. And I'm like,
nice
I'm not invested in
fist
it, but I'm rooting for Rory. I think a lot of people probably are rooting for Rory,
even
right?
If you're not the biggest Rory fan, I want to see him. I want to see him win this.
Yeah.
But I'm also, you look at the leaderboard, and it makes me feel kind of sad that you don't get this every week on the tour, because this is what golf should be with all of those names. And we'll see what happens in a couple of years if the Saudis are going to buy golf entirely. But this for the tournament, this being the first major with all of the names is exactly what you want for golf.
I think they're calling it Live Laugh PGA. Is that what they're calling it? I think that's the name they're working on, right?
It's something you got a focus group, but you're going to throw hundreds of millions of dollars at it. It's your bathroom. You paint it what you want, I guess, at this point. You said an eventful weekend in sport. It was so exciting yesterday, not only at Ohio Stadium, but at Nationwide Arena. But for one more day, the Blue Jackets, not dead yet. That's next. It's Sports Sunday on The Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Picture this. You walk into a Tim Hortons and get a warm toasted English muffin or a buttery biscuit layered with fluffy fresh cracked eggs, melty cheese, and savory sausage or bacon. Now imagine that breakfast sandwich for just $3 when you buy any size coffee, hot or cold, because when you're running on empty, you want a breakfast that does more than just fills you up. So start your morning with Tim's, because you deserve a breakfast that's as good as your day is going to be. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Offer valid only during breakfast hours. Exclusions apply. Additional terms apply.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, Kroger brand bone-in hickory smoked spiral ham is only 79 cents a pound with your card, an additional $25 purchase. Limit 2. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Buying a home used to feel like a complete headache. Listings here, pre-approval there, financing somewhere else. Now, Rocket is giving every home one address. Rocket.com. A single seamless homeownership platform to help you find, buy, sell, finance, and refinance your home. Everything you need, all under one roof. Visit Rocket.com, the new home for all things homeownership. Rocket. Own the dream.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Fish has been named the third best sports program director in the country. Winner. The two dudes who finished ahead of him are dead. So we're declaring him the winner. You're listening to the home of champions, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Here on The Fan, we talk about getting rid of joint pain with the regenerative experts at QC Kinetics. There's no surgery, no downtime, just your body's own healing properties working to give you relief. So you can enjoy doing the activities that you love, like the fastest growing sport in the country. That's pickleball. And here in the Columbus area, QC Kinetics is proud to be a sponsor of Paddle Tap's Pickleball Club. Learn, grow your skills, challenge yourself, and meet other pickleball players. Paddle Tap's Pickleball Club features the ultimate indoor facility with 16 state-of-the-art courts. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, Paddle Tap welcomes all skill levels. See what you're missing. Call Paddle Taps and mention QC Kinetics, and you'll get 1 hour of free play, courtesy of QC Kinetics, the people who take care of those achy joints, so you can play for years to come. For details, go to pbtaps.com. That's pbtaps.com. pbtaps.com.
Did you know even the smallest increase in mortgage rates can cost you thousands of dollars over the life of your loan? Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. It's true, even a 0.25% change in rate can cost you thousands of dollars over the life of your mortgage. But with Third Federal's new Early Rate Lock, you don't have to take chances. Early Rate Lock is the only pre-approval that locks in your rate at pre-approval, even before you find a house. Plus, we're so confident that our rates are the lowest, if you find a lower rate, we'll beat it or give you $1,000. And now through April 30th, get pre-approved with Third Federal and we'll pay all of your closing costs. So don't wait. Call Third Federal today.
Right now at Third Federal, even before you find a home, lock in 6.625%, APR 6.685% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-THIRD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restricted supply. Zero closing costs on low-cost loans only. See conditions for lowest rate guarantee at thirdfederal.com. Equal housing lender.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
I'm meteorologist Aaron White with your 10 weather impact forecast here. As we go through our Sunday afternoon, we are expecting a mix of clouds and sunshine and a few sprinkles around. Then for tonight, mostly cloudy with a low near 50. By Monday, we are expecting an increase in cloud cover and the chance for showers and thunderstorms here by Monday afternoon. High temperatures reaching the 70s. Eventually, we will be tracking some cooler weather here by Tuesday and Wednesday. That's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Aaron White on 97.1 The Fan.
Common Man and T-Bone are idiots. You should listen to them anyway.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan, Ohio's idiot destination. It's sports conversation, but with a drink and umbrella as a garnish. This is Fan Sports Sunday.
Post-beer run's going to hit a little different, but I'm going to need you to massage my hammies in the next commercial break.
That's great. I was stretching you out earlier. Got, I think some of that on video. Go check our YouTube channel. You can see it there. But, yeah, Reiser, good job running the OSU 4-miler today. That was quite the accomplishment for you.
It's a heck of an event, and thrilled to be out here at Ohio Stadium, the cathedral of college football, with 10,000 members of Buckeye Nation getting a tour de campus. A 4-mile, really a running event unlike any other, and we're thrilled to be joined by the wizard of it all, David Babner of M3S Sports. And I heard you right, I think at the start, the 13th year that you guys have done this event.
13th anniversary.
That's incredible.
And when we started it 13 years ago, the whole idea is all of these, Buckeye Nation comes out and cheers on the football team, the women's basketball team, the hockey team, the men's basketball team, and here's an opportunity for all those athletes, and you saw them at the start, you saw them on the finish, to come celebrate almost 12,000 athletes today, giving them high fives and things. It's a special experience. You know, we're all about celebrating a healthy, active lifestyle all year long, and this is a special one for us.
Yeah, I think the idea, I mean, it's a home run to be able to say you can finish running your race on the 50-yard line inside the shoe. There is nothing for me like, and I work in the media, so I've been on the sidelines off and on at Ohio State for a better part of 20 years. I've walked in there when it's 100,000. I've walked on the sidelines when the Texas game was happening. But still, like, when you're not supposed to go on the field. They yell at you a lot in the media if you walk out on the field at the wrong time or if you don't have the right pass. So even me, a media, longtime guy in this town, when I first ran this and got to, like, turn the corner and it's like I'm on the field, now I'm in the end zone, now I'm running through the 50, and I see, like, my guy Tyvis Powell is there, like, yelling and cheering me on, and some of the current players are there. It's a pretty unreal feeling that you get.
Yeah, and you look up, you see yourself on the big screen when you call.
Isn't that
awesome?
Right, yeah.
To be able to run, so the cool part of, this whole thing's awesome, but to be able to run down the tunnel that the team runs down, one, you don't really have an appreciation for how steep that damn thing is, and so because you get so excited. growing up in Columbus, when you see this thing rise from the banks of the Olentangy, you can't help but feel some type of way about Ohio Stadium.
No, and they don't have it quite like that in Athens, but this is pretty amazing here. When I say Athens, Athens,
the Ohio flavor.
Yeah,
it's a good second best campus in Ohio. I'll give it that. But
Jen Winters is nodding in approval over there. A bunch of Bobcat love going on all of a sudden out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting
I saw
that.
a lot of Bobcat love out at the start line.
There was. I got some OU, oh yes.
There you go. Perfect.
We're everywhere.
Took us 45 minutes to start everybody. So we want to make sure that everybody has a remarkable experience. So we do it in waves, and we give an athlete an opportunity to start each wave. And so we start a couple thousand people at a time, and it takes 40 minutes. But it gives everybody the opportunity to finish on the stadium without being too crowded, being able to come down that tunnel, experience it, look up, see the big block O, and then see themselves on the big screen when they cross the 50-yard line.
Well, as someone who has not been I didn't grow up as a runner. I have not been like a traditional runner, but I have participated in a lot of these events. I like how you guys do make me feel like when I've come out to them, oh yeah, I can do this. There's a group there where they have the strollers and the walkers. So if you think you can just walk, there's still something for you to do. And I love that about the M3S events, which is why I was thrilled when I found out that you guys wanted to partner with us to do the 971K, the race, 971 the race, because now we have a chance to show that to our audience who maybe a lot of people like me who didn't grow up running in high school, maybe it's just not your thing. You can get out to this event that we have on Saturday, June 21st out at Otterbein. There's a 1 mile loop on the track. There is a 5K, it's 3.1 miles. I think, something like that.
Yeah.
But it's real easy breezy. You can walk that in an hour, or you can try to run it, walk it. And then you've got the big boy, the 9.71. For those who want to, maybe you are someone who's run a lot of these races before and you like to challenge yourself, that's a great option too. But it just brings all these people together, and I've thoroughly enjoyed seeing that aspect of it. So I'm glad that you guys are our partners in it, because I know you're going to do it right.
Well, and that's what our events are all about. We just want to celebrate the healthy, active lifestyle. We don't care if you run, walk. We just want you to come out and participate. And once you see what this is all about, finishers medals for everyone, right?
Yeah.
This is, and I joke at the start line all the time, whether you're first in your age group or last in your age group, you're going to get the same medal, whether you're first in the race or last. But we just want people to come out and be part of it. And you see it when you talk about athletes. Athletes are all in different shapes, sizes, and abilities. One of the biggest honors I've had, and I've been doing it, even though I don't look like I could be old enough to do this for 22 years, I've been doing it for 22 years. And when somebody does the 5K one year, or in our case, when we're going to so excited to do the race with you guys on June 21st, is they'll come out, they may do the 1 mile walk, and they say, hey, maybe we can work a little harder and do the 5K next year, and maybe we can do the 6 miler. And then I see people will then do the Capital City Half Marathon,
which you have coming up in a few weeks, right? That's the next thing, right? Never stops.
I was talking to our ops team this morning, and I'm like, okay, we did 12,000 people today. Let's get her back up. We got 2 weeks to do the same thing. My operations director said to me, because I didn't like this at first, but I'm kind of digging this. I can order all the sound and deal with the ice guys and all this all at once, and our team loves it. We stay up. It's 2 weeks of just let's go.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of folks that will be out there. Next week, the Ohio Health Capital City Half, or 2 weeks at the Ohio Health Capital City Half Marathon. It's a national meetup for Black Girls Who Run, an association all around the country that are coming in. We're also doing something special for the first responders out there. It's the First Responder Challenge presented by Haas. And Ohio Health's allowed us to build what M3S is. We touch 50,000 race registrations a year in one market in Ohio, and this is great. And then for Ohio State to be part of this 13 years ago when they said, yes, we want to do it, and then when Coach Day wanted to make spring game weekend a lot bigger deal, we said, think about it. They had the game yesterday, they had the concert last night, and now we're doing the 4 miler today.
It's true. I mean, a wonderful celebration of the Ohio State community and a wonderful partnership with everybody. The Buckeye crews, you get athletes, current and former athletes. It felt like you had guys that just played in the spring game that were watching me run. And I don't know if you can hear it, but the party's still going on. So this is a community event from almost dawn until dusk. Yeah. And we're hoping for something similar coming up on June 21st. But real quick, because it is Masters weekend, David, I did hear that you just came back from Augusta to put this event on.
So
that's a heck of a weekend.
So we flew down Wednesday night. I got a special invitation to go down there Wednesday night. And if that's one of those things, when somebody says, "Hey, would you like to go to the Masters?"
Drop it all.
The answer's like, yes. When is it?
Figure out how to do it.
As long as it wasn't today, I'm okay with that. So we flew down Wednesday, had a chance to walk those grounds, and it amazed me. You know, we've been doing events for 22 years. To see all of the members and all of the volunteers and all the staff that work at Augusta, and to see how the place is immaculate. There's nothing out of place. It almost feels, I've never seen anything like it. And it's in a pretty tight area, so you can stay in one place. Like we were able to stay on the 17th tee, see balls hit into 16, see them hit over water on 17. Then we went down to Amen Corner. We got a chance to see Scotty come through with the amateur champion. And it's just, you got a chance to see a lot of the golfers. I think a lot of those golfers are amazed by it. And we spent all day there Thursday, and then had a great day on Friday, and then flew back that night. But it's amazing. And I didn't check the leaderboard before I got here, but as of last night, I think this is going to be a heck of a finish here today.
I think Rory and Bryson, the final pairing, roll off at what, 2:30?
They're 2:30. Yep.
Yeah.
Rory's 12 under, Bryson's 10 under.
Yeah. So you
That's
got,
fantastic.
you got a lot of storyline just with those two, right? Obviously, there's a little rivalry, but there's also just the guy who melted down many years ago, 2011. Can he redeem himself? Rory, this is the one he needs for the career Grand Slam. Bryson DeChambeau, of course, has been, one of the best golfers in the world the last 5 years or longer. So yeah, it's. I think there's going to be it's going to be just a fun watch this afternoon. It'd be better if you were there, I guess.
Well, but I'll tell you what, to be there on Thursday and Friday and see those opening rounds and see how it's good, that's kind of great. I'm actually really looking forward to one or two. I'm going to go to the varsity club with our team after this. I'm sure Tony will have something on there. We'll check that out. Then I'm looking forward to my couch this afternoon because it's been a heck of a travel schedule.
Yeah.
You guys talk sports all the time, Andrew, and it's amazing to listen to you guys. When you see that Bryson storyline from a guy that's kind of been a heel in the past, to then flip and to be who he is now, like when I was there, he's high-fiving fans. He's like the Ohio State football team.
Has he not figured it out that, like, what's good is if I high-five people, then that's – I saw a kid even ask him, like, can I have your hat? And he was like, no, but hey, man, it's all right. And he high-five as he's walking off the 18th green. But that would have made him a villain even more like a couple years ago. Now it's like – you're right. If he does this, there are a lot of people he's gained as fans. So, yeah, it's the Masters weekend. Even it's that thing like Indy 500, Kentucky Derby. You don't have to follow those sports any other time, but you flip them on this weekend and you enjoy because it's something to behold. It's a spectacle.
And you see what Rory did on Thursday afternoon. He started off gangbusters and then he kind of limped in that afternoon. Friday picked it back up again. Yesterday, obviously, was kind of up and down, but I mean, what did he have? 6 threes in a row to start?
Only person to ever do that at Augusta.
Now,
and then a couple eagles.
And you think about eagles out there. You can sort of see it on TV, but you can't understand it until you're there.
No.
They're hitting the ball 222, whatever it is, over water to land it on 16. They miss, you're out of the tournament. I mean, they're in the water, you're over the back. It's amazing to see these guys hit balls in there.
So with this kind of a weekend where you have the spring game, it's like the unofficial introduction to spring, and you talk Masters and you think Memorial, right? And you just think of what's to come with everything over the next couple of months. You guys have Cap City in 2 weeks, and then the 4-miler on 18 at Muirfield Village. Then, of course, our event June 21st in Westerville. M3sports.com for all the information about all of those events.
Yeah, go sign up for their email, and then you'll get emails about our event, and then you'll eventually get annoyed enough that you'll sign up for it. And you get a cool Nike shirt when you do it. I just saw the race shirts are in. These are scarlet. I mean, I don't want to say – I noticed the color scarlet is involved.
Scarlet and gray.
Our colors involve some gray and some white and some black. There's a little Nike swoosh on this. These are nice, man. I'm excited to get one now.
Yeah, and listening to us today, and I know a lot of folks have come up here, but you use the code TheFan10. You save $10 for a limited time because we just want people to come out and experience it. Once you come out and experience it, any of our events, you see it. And I'm looking forward to when we can sit on the air and go, 13 years ago we had this idea for the race and the 5K and all. We're going to have a blast. So,
we got plans for next year, but we got to get the first year
we're
going.
Gonna have, the inaugural only happens once.
Yeah, you got to sign up for the inaugural now. now, so go do it. 971therace.com. You can go to the 971thefan as well. Our website, 971thefan.com. We've got it right there on the main page. Or if you click through, you'll see our pictures, me and Reiser. Click on that. It'll take you right to the registration. And then you get a medal, you get a T-shirt, and you get the satisfaction knowing that the Common Man will massage your calves at the end of the race. He'll be there.
I'll give this. The first 100 people to sign up, Common Man will massage your calves at the end of the race.
Well, I think Reiser, he is going to be there giving medals out, so I know that. And then maybe Reiser and I will massage your calves.
But yes,
we'll see.
Come to me if you're looking for the man, and I will massage you
We'll massage
gently
your calves.
when you're done on June 21st. But David, thank you so much for all the wonderful partnership and allowing us to come out here and be a part of this, the 13th year that you guys have done the Ohio State 4-miler. Here's to 13 more, man.
13 more. Let's do it. Thanks, everybody.
Again,
awesome.
m3sports.com is where you want to get all of that information. Sign up for their email blast, 971 The Race, for our event on June 21st. Blue Jackets, not dead yet. That's in 2 minutes. It's Sports Sunday on The Fan.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax, and not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like early pay, moving up payday so you could get your money faster, up to 2 days faster. And there's no cost. It's your money, right? So stop playing the waiting game. It's just one more way we're looking out for people every day. Is your bank looking out for you? Maybe it's time to switch. Visit your neighborhood Huntington branch or make the switch at huntington.com/yourmoney. Direct deposit and eligibility requirements apply.
Spring forward, Columbus, with the Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling Services. We're here to thaw you out with this limited time offer. Get up to $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer is too good to pass up. The Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling now together to serve you better with $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer won't last. Call us today, 614-232-2222. That's 614-232-2222.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a mysterious room of long-forgotten, moldy mascot memorabilia. Often pitched by ad agencies, always rejected by NJM. Is it real? We may never know. But what is real is NJM's dedication to doing what's right for their customers. Astoundingly, they're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Learn more at njm.com.
Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Oh, hey, the best football team in the country's on the best radio station in the country. Congratulations, Buckeyes. Here's to 100 more years together. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. Garnish your Bloody Mary with sports talk. You're listening to Fan Sports Sunday.
Live outside the Cathedral of College Football, the mecca of the sport, as some say, Ohio Stadium. Reiser and Bone, the Sports Sunday Spectacular. Now that the sun's come out, we are post-race, Ohio State 4-miler. You heard David Babner in the last segment. The 13th year that they've done this. About 12,000 runners around Ohio State's campus. No apologies if you were trying to get down and around here and you saw a bunch of people running around. This is just part of now the spring game weekend. You do the game Saturday. I'm so glad they kept it a game. And you do the 4-miler on Sunday. Really the first step to now what's going to be a wonderful spring in Central Ohio.
And we talked about it. You're right. It's kind of like another little thing on the calendar you mark off of like, all right, we're getting closer to spring. When you have the spring game, you're kind of in spring. It still gets, like out here right now, it's a little chilly and it's a little sunny and it's kind of back and forth. But this weekend has been awesome, as we talked about, for sports in Central Ohio. Obviously, we are now your home of the Reds. We're taking you up to the Reds game. 110
Reds
is when
and
we're
Pirates.
going to jump off of here. Yep, and the Reds took the first two in this series, scored 5 runs in each of those. Break up the Reds' offense all of a sudden. That's what, I mean, a week ago we felt like this team couldn't score a run. So now they're at least, and it might help that you're going up against the Pirates. Although I didn't see who's on the mound today.
It's Hunter Green for the Reds and someone named Carmen.
Okay.
I'm not even going to try the last name for the Buckeyes, but Pittsburgh's 5-10.
I was making sure it wasn't Livy Dunn's boyfriend. He's not pitching today, so
I mean, that'd be the marquee, but you're right. The Fan is your home for the Cincinnati Reds in Columbus, either 971, as it'll be today's game, or ESPN Columbus, or the Fans HD2. If you missed it at all, the spring game yesterday, Scarlet got the win 51-30. Biggest takeaway, other than Mylan Graham being the spring game hero, this is Julian Sain's job. He didn't lose it yesterday.
No.
They're going to carry this into the fall, where you're going to have a true quarterback competition, because you need them to both, and I don't know if there's a better way to say it, to get their butts kicked.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, I mean,
so they
like
can
Ryan
get
Day's been
properly
talking
prepared
about,
for Texas.
you got to play football. I mean, Ryan Day said that. He was on with us earlier this week on Man and Bone, 3 to 6. You can go watch that on YouTube if you missed it.
Yep.
Gave us 40 minutes. Really nice of him. I know he popped on with you guys as well, I believe.
He was on
right?
Bishop and Friends on Thursday, yep.
And his theme's been, you play like 12 games a year if you're a football player, of actual full-contact football. If you play basketball, AAU, high school, all the stuff, you play a lot of basketball before you even get to college. You don't get to do that. You can play 7-on-7 all day, but you got to actually hit somebody. So he was talking about that was a big theme for them this week, and that's what they got into.
And the Buckeyes are going to be in D.C. tomorrow to meet the president. And then Wednesday, the spring transfer portal opens.
Oh.
So you kind of don't get a whole lot of time post-spring game itself to digest everything, because the coaching staff, there are needs you, I think, need to address in the portal in terms of depth and maybe some experience. I look to the quarterback room, and I don't see guys that have started a game. You got Lincoln for that Cotton Bowl debacle, but you need a guy in there to provide some experience. It's somewhere like in between a Tristan Gebbia and a Will Howard.
Yeah, right.
Is the guy you need.
Yeah, and I think it's going to just have to develop.
Yemalieva.
I hear he's available.
Who will be entering the portal.
My gosh, yeah, we can talk about that in a minute. But, something you reminded me of, we've been talking about it, but we haven't really got into it yet. You're talking about hitting people, and that's what we want for this Buckeye team.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you a dude who hit somebody yesterday, Adam Fantilli, Blue Jackets.
You have an A1 ass kicker on your team now. The longest time the Blue Jackets have not had that. Your alpha is the guy that throws people to the ground.
So, full disclosure, I was watching the spring game, but then I'm like, Jackets are on, so I flipped. I would like Jackets go to, intermission. I'd go back over to spring game.
Yep.
But I'm watching that because I know it's like every second of this game pretty much matters at this point. It's all on the line here. You have to win this game yesterday against the Capitals. They're at home. Jackets were. They got the home and home. Tonight they play again in Washington. Jackets get it done 6-0. 7-0.
7-0.
Yeah, they got the late one there. That was that Van Riemsdyk that got the last one? I think he had the Gordie Howe hat trick because he had a fight.
He did, yes.
He had an assist, and he had the goal, I think was the last piece of that. But, no, I'll tell you, that Fantilli hit right there in front of the goal. Clear. I mean, you have the puck. It's dangerous. He does his job. He lights up a dude who's not paying attention, a younger player who, I mean, not that he's an old guy, and then goes up the ice, and, 15 seconds later, he's scoring to make it, I think, 3-0 at that point. That was a moment for me, Reiser, where I think we as Jackets fans are going to say, we're all going to remember that 10 years from now, hopefully, as Adam Fantilli is still a big centerpiece of this organization. Not to get ahead of ourselves, but, that's what we have wanted to see. And then you go to the intermission, and Mark Messier and PK Subban are like, I can't say enough good things about this Adam Fantilli. That kid's a unit. He's a big guy. They were, talking about how they felt bad for the other dude. And from Washington, it's like, they're like, well, you can't mess with Adam Fantilli. It's like, that's right, you can't. I'm excited to hear you say that. I know we've got Matthew Olivier.
Because the league's now talking about it. The entire league is talking about you cannot skate against Adam Fantilli and hope that it's not going to be a physical matchup. I was at Nationwide Arena yesterday, had the privilege of going and watching this live and in real time. And the energy that this Blue Jacket team's played with over the past couple of games, where they know it's every single night, is an eliminator. They cannot afford. They've got 3 left. Like you talked about the game in Washington against the Capitals tonight at 6 o'clock. They're going to fight. It's going to almost be like the United States and Canada. Like 3 minutes in, you're going to have 4 or 5 fights because you talked about in that second and third period. And it started with that Fantilli hit. They were chippy as hell.
Oh, it was. And right after that, because remember Fantilli, I can't remember this dude's name. I don't know why I'm blanking on it. But whatever the Capitals player is, I'm sorry if you're screaming
he's dead, R.I.P.
Yeah, but young player, he lights him up. Goes and gets the goal. And then you see after the goal, all their players are complaining. Their coach is complaining. They're all mad about this hit.
The Capitals fans in attendance were mad. There were a lot of Capitals fans.
But you know what?
There.
The Jackets fans in attendance loved it.
Yes.
And I mean, we're all watching at home going, yeah, that's what we want to see. Then you see Tom Wilson get run because he's yelling at an official, and he gets like 12 minutes in penalties, and it's like Tom Wilson is the biggest a-hole in hockey. He's one of like 2 or 3 guys that everyone hates, right? Other than if he's on your team. And that guy was like annoyed by what fans. That's the part that made me go, oh, we're getting to their lower level young guys.
Agitating.
We're getting and Tom Wilson. I'll be honest. I think he's a dirty player. I would love to have had a Tom Wilson minus the dirty hits and stuff, but I would love to have had everything else about him for as long as he's been with the Capitals. He's one of the main reasons they've been a successful franchise. So if we get someone who is feared like that, who is thought of like that, who gets under people's skin at the center position, I mean, I'm ready. Like let's hope that that's what Adam Fantilli. Let's hope that that's what he is, because what we saw last night was yesterday afternoon, I should say. That was hope for the future and for the now. That was an immense moment for the Jackets.
What, nothing better than a 12:30 hockey game. The matinee hockey remains undefeated. I think someone told me that I drank all of the beers at Nationwide, and I was like, I thought I had a couple, and they're like, we've never seen anybody put beers away like that before, sir. It's an incredible feat, kind of like Jet Greaves getting his first shutout. I mean, it had everything yesterday because there was a lot of red in that lower bowl where I was sitting, and those Capitals fans had purchased tickets a month out thinking they were going to see history.
Oh, Ovechkin,
instead,
right?
they saw an assing.
And they saw no Ovechkin. He was off.
He got scratched.
Supposedly going to play tonight. We'll see.
But how much do you play him if you're Washington? That's a question that we don't have to care about.
No, but you know what? I do wonder I'm curious to see what this Washington team does when it comes to they need to show that that's not who they are. So I anticipate tonight they're coming out with a message to send that's like, hey, we're not a team that gets run 7-0. We are not that bad. There were guys out with injuries. Some guys are getting rest, but I anticipate tonight will be a much different game, and the Jackets have to be ready for that. You're going to get a playoff version of what the Capitals can bring with the guys they have on the ice, and I wouldn't be surprised if Ovechkin's out there to kind of at least send a little message to his team that says, like, guys, I'm not going to tolerate that. I'm not going to play like that. So they let down their goaltender yesterday for sure. Young guy, had no help in front of him, but whatever, Jackets will take it. We love that. That was great. Let's do it again tonight.
3 more games left for this club, like we talked about. Tonight's face-off against Washington in D.C. is 6 o'clock. We'll have fan pregame coverage starting at 5:30. But you've got Flyers on Tuesday, and then the New York Islanders are in town next Thursday. And really the message is simple for this Columbus team. You have to win all of them.
Yeah.
You cannot afford a loss.
Well, you can't lose, and then you need Montreal to keep losing, although they lost in overtime last night, which did not help. Wanted them to lose in regulation. They lose to Toronto 1-0 in overtime. So good they lost, but now any win for Montreal, it's done. You're done.
The Canadiens, they host the Blackhawks Monday night at 7 o'clock. So your rooting interest, obviously, for the Columbus Blue Jackets, but then the Chicago Blackhawks on Monday. You keep one day at a time.
It's like every day I'm going to, all right, now I'm rooting for this. And then I wait to see what happens there. And I'm like, oh, good, that happened. All right, now I'm rooting for it. So it's like one step at a time. Tonight, Jackets, get the job done, and then I'll worry about Chicago tomorrow. I don't know how Chicago would pull that off because they've been terrible, but we'll see. Tonight, get the job done, and we can worry about tomorrow.
It's been a brutal 4 months for Tennessee football. Not that we care a whole lot, but we'll laugh at them next. It's Sports Sunday on The Fan.
Big Voice Guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Here on The Fan, we talk about getting rid of joint pain with the regenerative experts at QC Kinetics. There's no surgery, no downtime, just your body's own healing properties working to give you relief. So you can enjoy doing the activities that you love, like the fastest growing sport in the country. That's pickleball. And here in the Columbus area, QC Kinetics is proud to be a sponsor of Paddle Tap's Pickleball Club. Learn, grow your skills, challenge yourself, and meet other pickleball players. Paddle Tap's Pickleball Club features the ultimate indoor facility with 16 state-of-the-art courts. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, Paddle Tap welcomes all skill levels. See what you're missing. Call Paddle Taps and mention QC Kinetics, and you'll get 1 hour of free play, courtesy of QC Kinetics, the people who take care of those achy joints, so you can play for years to come. For details, go to pbtaps.com. That's pbtaps.com. pbtaps.com.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle in Market District. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting lower prices. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle. Experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle today to see how easy it is to save.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing, 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
A milestone day for Pete Rose is April 13th in 1963. The Major League Baseball hit king smacked his very first hit, a triple, at Crosley Field against Pittsburgh Pirate pitcher Bob Friend. The hit came in his 15th at bat, and even Pete was wondering when he'd ever get a hit. Of course, once he started, Pete couldn't stop. He had several 200-hit seasons and hit the 3,000-hit mark in 1978. And then on this same April 13th, 21 years after that first triple, Pete reached another milestone, his 4,000th hit, joining Ty Cobb as the only players ever to have 4,000 hits. What a date this April 13th for Pete Rose, 2 milestones in the career of the Hit King. This date in Reds baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
Jackets are back at Nationwide for a battle with the Capitals. Live fan coverage starts Sunday at 6:30.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating and Cooling.
Your home for Blue Jackets hockey, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Picture this. You walk into a Tim Hortons and get a warm toasted English muffin or a buttery biscuit layered with fluffy fresh cracked eggs, melty cheese, and savory sausage or bacon. Now imagine that breakfast sandwich for just $3 when you buy any size coffee, hot or cold, because when you're running on empty, you want a breakfast that does more than just fills you up. So start your morning with Tim's, because you deserve a breakfast that's as good as your day is going to be. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Offer valid only during breakfast hours. Exclusions apply. Additional terms apply.
Can I get Mega Millions?
Good choice. Mega Millions is bigger than ever. Jackpots now start at $50 million and grow faster.
Sounds mega.
And now, every game has a built-in multiplier, so all non-jackpot prizes are multiplied between 2 and 10 times.
Bigger prizes, better odds, and just $5? Give me 2.
Mega Millions is bigger and better than ever. Get your tickets today at your local Ohio lottery retailer. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
It's a different world today than it was 30 years ago when I started Care Heating and Cooling. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, 30 years ago, you were the first to warn of companies using service technicians as salespeople, of abusing the trust that a service technician has. With the big conglomerates now buying companies all over Central Ohio, this has become the normal business model.
It's all about greed. The conglomerates know they can make a lot more money by incentivizing their technicians to sell furnaces instead of fixing them. They train their techs to take advantage of a customer when they are the most vulnerable.
Dad, that is not how we were taught. In 2024, Care Heating and Cooling was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Weston Air Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Live, local, and still slightly drunk.
I'm not drunk, all right? I just have a speech impediment.
This is Fan Sports Sunday.
All right, if you hear that sound, it's my knees cracking. I've got all of my joints making just interesting clicking and popping noises. We're live outside the Ohio State 4-miler on the grounds of Ohio Stadium for the 13th edition of the event. Again, wonderful thanks to our friends over at M3S Sports and David Babner for allowing us to be part of this event, allowing for us to run in this event. You get to run around campus. This place is gorgeous, and you don't have to worry about getting hit by a car.
Yeah, for runners, that's a big thing.
Huge.
That's a thing. Look out for the runners if you're out there. If you see one, I know you may be like, why are they running the road? It's like, well, you don't understand. Sidewalks, uneven. The amount of times people trip over sidewalks.
Yep.
Sounds silly, but that's why. So just, when you get to do an event like this, you're right, Reiser. It's nice to not have to worry about the cars, but definitely look out for the runners if you're out there.
So if anybody's interested in doing, a distance of a mile or a 5K, or come, have your nipples chafe with Eric in the 9.71 kilometers on Sunday, June 21st.
Yeah, you signed up for the big race.
We're doing the inaugural of the race. And so obviously the 9.71, you play with those numbers a little bit. But I think the biggest thing for the event on June 21st is to get people out and kind of to celebrate our community, our wonderful listeners who are as passionate as any fan base of any brand in this city, in this area, to come out and just to celebrate together and to do it on June 21st. It's part of Men's Health Month. We'll be in Westerville on the campus of Otterbein University. They were so wonderful to let us come and goof around on their space. But that 1 mile fun run, 1 mile fun walk, that 5K, something that you can, if you want, use as a jumping off point to maybe a future half marathon or a future quarter marathon. Baby steps.
Quite a few friends who said, I'm going to walk a 5K, and then now it's like, oh, yeah, I'm doing the Cap City half marathon. And you're like, wow, great for you, man. That's awesome. But you know what? Even if you never do anything more than the 1 mile walk, and you just come out, it'll be a lot of fun. We'll be there. So we'll be broadcasting, I'm fairly sure, but I know we'll all be there in person, some way, shape, or form. I'll be there. Common Man will be there. Reiser will be there. Tyvis Powell will be there. More to be announced soon. Jen Winters probably is going to be there. I don't know. Are you on vacation? Are you going to be at the 971K? Oh yeah, she's going to be there. She's running the 10K.
She's doing all 9.71 kilometers.
You're walking the 1 mile. That's right. Okay, so you can walk with Jen. You can run the 5K with me, or you can sprint the 9.71K with Reiser.
So 971therace.com for all of the information.
Yeah.
We look forward to seeing everybody out there. We want to make this a yearly thing, much like folks at M3S have made the 4-miler Cap City really a cornerstone of the community. If you hear screaming from Knoxville, it's the sounds of Tennessee football fans. As it was announced on Saturday, or I don't know if announced the right word, but the news came out that Iko Malieva, the quarterback for Tennessee, is entering the transfer portal when it opens on Wednesday.
Well, and the weird thing, as I understand it, is not just that he's entering it, it's that he didn't show up the day before their spring game.
He ghosted him at practice.
And basically said, I'm holding out for a better deal. This, I believe, is after they had already negotiated something earlier in the spring/winter after the season that apparently everyone thought they were good with, and now they're not. I've seen a lot of hot takes decrying this guy as being like an evil jerk and how dare he and all that stuff. Don't see the same hot takes when like a recruiting coordinator hops out of and takes the Odin transfer portal to wherever he's going to go next right after signing day. But regardless, let me put it this way. Do we blame the kids who are acting up at the Walmart when they're screaming and yelling, or do we go, where are the parents? And I look here and say, where are the adults? Where is the NCAA on having a solution that would have prevented it from getting to this point? Because I agree, this is not the way to negotiate a business deal. But I also agree that the NCAA has been like, oh, well, we got smacked down by the Supreme Court. What are we going to do? It's like you could still be the NCAA. You could still come in and say, we've got a plan to formalize all this. You're going to have to now with this settlement money that's coming in, right? They're going to have a formalized plan for that. Reese, I don't know how you feel about this. I feel like it's time at some point to acknowledge that millions of college students are employed by the university in some capacity anyway right now. They're just employed at like a coffee shop or at the library. They don't make millions of dollars, but it's not that hard for them to come up with employment contracts for college athletes and say, here's the terms.
Cover your ears, Ross Bjork.
Here's what you've signed up for. Here's what you can do. And I know some in the college, it's the whole reason the NCAA exists is to fight against that. That's why they have amateur athletes. But you don't want situations like this? You don't want the Wild West? I don't have a Wild West with our HR department. Do you? We have contracts. We have things we sign. We agree to. It's still got its issues. It's not going to be perfect. But how is that going to be any worse than what we currently are, where guy 2 days before the spring game is like, never mind.
Yeah. So the thing with the NCAA is, we'll go to the fan, because there is no Wild West of the fan. Why? The fan has leadership.
Right.
Ohio State. I talked about Ross Bjork. Ohio State has leadership. Ross Bjork, Ryan Day. The NCAA has never had leadership. They've had guys in charge that for decades Mark Emmert just kicked the can down the road until he was out.
Yeah.
And now here's Charlie Baker. He's just going to kick the can down the road until he's out, and he can pull a nice retirement.
To your point, they're going to go beg Congress for someone else to do our job. Please, someone tell me what to do. Because how do you guys not know? How do you not have a plan?
It's unserious. It's disingenuous. It's like when an owner says we're negotiating in good faith, like when the Oakland Athletics talked about good faith. It's not a thing that exists. And so with the NCAA, it's just the constant, it's going to be our problem until we can figure out how to make it somebody else's problem. And now I don't know if necessarily Tennessee thinks of it as the problem, because Josh Heupel had some comments saying that this university, this football program is bigger than one player. We will be okay. And I don't know if that's going to be the case, because Iamaleava was such an instrumental part of the Volunteers making the college football playoff, but he's now the biggest fish in this transfer portal, and I do expect, and you should expect, Ohio State to do some portaling this week. They're not going to go get Nico, because he's going to ask for $5 million, and I hope everybody just tells him, well, there's the door you can walk out of. But for depth for Ohio State on the defensive line, for depth on the offensive line, for positions that you're going to need just more of, that I think is the place for Ohio State Wednesday once this thing opens. It'll be open for 30 days, and they'll have the ability to go get guys like the 2 tackles they brought in from the portal. I think what you saw from them from the spring game was good football players just need more time with this offense.
Yeah, and I do think the portal is dicey after spring ball, because you're going to end up with a lot of players, mostly, not always, guys who are like, they're being told, we think you can fit here, but probably not as a starter. So you're going to bring those guys, and you're going to find depth. But there's still depth issues on this team. They're going to have to address a lot of guys who have left. And maybe there are some players who are just like, you know what, if the money's the same, or if my opportunities are the same, I'd rather go do it at Ohio State, where I have a chance to go win a lot of trophies over the next few years.
Well, you saw 2 weeks ago with Ohio State's Pro Day, any team that has a need at any position, you grab a Buckeye. And that's where I talk to the leadership of the program and being able to recruit, identify, recruit, develop, and then make guys that are good to go in the NFL. And that's always going to be the appeal of this university, of this football program that's head and shoulders, I think, than most in the country.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think the next couple of weeks with that Nico Iamaleava situation are going to be quite interesting to see.
It can be so fascinating.
Yeah. But I think he's got to take responsibility for himself, and I don't think this is the way to handle yourself. I don't think this is the way to negotiate. I'm not saying that at all. I'm also saying let's look at the bigger picture of why is this coming up, and is this going to be the last time?
No, certainly not.
So maybe it would be good for those in power to put some rules in place to say, here's what we're doing to try to prohibit this and fix it going forward.
Yeah, there's to have no faith that that's going to be the case. One of two things is going to happen this afternoon: a great comeback, a great story, great comeback / great story, one of the greatest collapses in sports. That's next. Sports Sunday on The Fan.
There's nothing Bo Bishop can't do well, except find competent co-hosts. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like asterisk-free checking. An account that's filled with features, but no monthly maintenance fee, no matter what. Because it's your money, right? So we think you should keep it. It's just one more way we're looking out for people every day. Is your bank looking out for you? Maybe it's time to switch. Visit your neighborhood Huntington branch or make the switch at huntington.com/yourmoney.
Here on The Fan, we talk about getting rid of joint pain with the regenerative experts at QC Kinetics. There's no surgery, no downtime, just your body's own healing properties working to give you relief, so you can enjoy doing the activities that you love, like the fastest growing sport in the country. That's pickleball. And here in the Columbus area, QC Kinetics is proud to be a sponsor of Paddle Tap's Pickleball Club. Learn, grow your skills, challenge yourself, and meet other pickleball players. Paddle Tap's Pickleball Club features the ultimate indoor facility with 16 state-of-the-art courts. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, Paddle Tap welcomes all skill levels. See what you're missing. Call Paddle Taps and mention QC Kinetics, and you'll get 1 hour of free play, courtesy of QC Kinetics, the people who take care of those achy joints, so you can play for years to come. For details, go to pbtaps.com. That's pbtaps.com. pbtaps.com.
Spring forward, Columbus, with the Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling Services. We're here to thaw you out with this limited time offer. Get up to $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer is too good to pass up. The Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling now together to serve you better with $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer won't last. Call us today, 614-232-2222. That's 614-232-2222.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.625%, APR 6.685% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Nate Puderball. The offense shined at Ohio Stadium yesterday during the spring game. Over 40,000 fans filled the shoe to see the offense beat the defense 50-31. Redshirt freshman Julian Sayin finished 17-24 for 175 yards and a touchdown. Third-year sophomore Lincoln Keenholz completed 12 of 18 passes for 158 yards and 2 TDs. And true freshman Travian St. Clair was 11 of 16 for 116 yards and a touchdown. It's the final round of the Masters. Rory McIlroy is the leader at 12 under. With Bryson DeChambeau 2 shots back. The leaders tee off at 2:30. The CBJ kept the playoff hopes alive with a 7-0 win over the Washington Capitals. They meet again tonight at 6 o'clock. And the Cincinnati Reds beat the Pittsburgh Pirates 5-2. Catch the final game of the series at 1:40 today on The Fan. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Sports talk, weekend style. You're listening to Fan Sports Sunday.
Getting ready to break out the brooms in Ohio's Queen City. You heard Nate there in the update. Reds and Pirates. 1:40 today. We will take you down to Ohio's Queen City at about 1:10. A busy sports afternoon here on The Fan. After Bone and I are done outside of Ohio Stadium, you will have that baseball contest, and then at 5:30, fan pregame coverage of the Jackets and the Capitals. Look, Blue Jackets still alive for one more day. All you can really ask now of this team is every single night an opportunity, and an opportunity presents itself. Not only to get another one over on the Capitals, they smothered Washington yesterday 7-0, and the best matinee hockey game that I've ever had the privilege of being at, but you can't really... there can't be too much complaining right now for this Blue Jackets team, or at least for the fan base for this Blue Jackets team, because it's giving you exactly what you want as a fan. You're relevant in April.
No, I definitely think, and we've done this. I mean, I think every Jackets fan at some point has said, man, if you just had a couple more efforts like we've seen.
Stunk with the 2 losing streaks.
Right.
Yes.
If you had like just a few more games like that, this over 80 of them plus now, like, where would this team? We wouldn't be necessarily as worried about this. This wouldn't be a
conversation.
However, can't live in the past. Nope. We're living in what the reality is here, which is got to get this done. Can't lose a game. Montreal has to keep losing.
Yep.
So that's the goal. And then there's other teams around you, but if you win out and Montreal loses out, I don't think there's other teams that are also going to win out.
Well, no,
right?
Here's the thing with the Eastern Conference. Every team right now has their position except for Montreal and Columbus. The teams that are around have mathematically been eliminated. Columbus still alive, Montreal still alive for that final wild card spot. So this is a position, again, I get it. I get the part of the fan base is like, you shouldn't have lost 6 in a row. It was a tremendous collapse by this team. Yes, it was really bad hockey that they played. They, of course, know that. But considering, I'll go back to where you thought you were going to be in October.
Oh, my gosh.
The idea that you don't have an E next to your name in April is a win for this team that you can build off of. Now, you have to build off of it next season.
Yes.
But all we can do is all you can do today.
Yeah. And you don't want to be a team like, I know, like Nashville, I think last year kind of went like, we're going all in, and then it did not go well for them, right? Like, you can be a little too overly optimistic next season. You don't know what's going to happen there. Let's focus on this season. Let's focus on what you can't control. Reiser, I'll tell you, I know you know this as a longtime Jackets fan, and you had this yesterday because you were actually at a matinee game, but how many times have you been in Nationwide Arena for a game that started after 7 o'clock where you could look up to that little skylight in the rafters and see the sun still out? Like, that only happens when you're playing in April and in May, because the time change, you're at a later time for the sunset. Now, a matinee game, you had that, but what I'm saying is we're in that time now. where if the Jackets play, they're any home games now, they've got that. How rare that is for us as Jackets fans. That's why this is so crucial. It's not. We can go back and look at what happened, right? But if you do your part,
it doesn't do anybody good at this point.
No. But if you do your part here, and if the bigger, I am not as worried about the Jackets doing their part. Obviously, we'll see what happens tonight, but I think they, as long as they have a chance, are playing out of their minds. And I think you're going to get a much better effort from Washington. The fear is Montreal. You can't control. It's not a you control your own destiny thing. It's a that only Montreal losing is the thing that's going to allow you to have a chance to win all your games and for it to matter. So, can they do it? It's still an uphill. I mean, I'm sure right now if you went on Money Puck or any of the gambling websites,
a miracle would have to happen.
It's still a very faint possibility, but it's not as faint as it was a week ago, and it's definitely still within striking distance. But next step is tonight in Washington. You have to play exactly as tough or tougher than you did yesterday. I heard Dean Evison, I know you were at the game, on the broadcast, they brought up a nugget that Dean Evison was asked, so how much scoreboard watching are you going to do so you can keep an eye on this playoff race? And he goes, what playoffs?
They're in the playoffs.
We're not.
This is a playoff.
What are you talking about?
Playoffs,
right? We're just every game is all that we're focused on. There's nothing else to focus on. Can't do anything else about it.
Man, the Don Waddell, the Dean Evison, those hires, the job that they have done with this organization in such short time,
incredible,
has been incredible. You're absolutely right. And the question yesterday, you wonder what's going to happen in the offseason with Elvis, because Jet got a lot of help because they were scoring so much. So obviously you get a 6. It was a 3, then a 4, then a 5, then a 6-goal cushion. Obviously, it helps a young goaltender with what you have to do in the day. But if that's the future there in your netminder, if you have your future alpha in Adam Fantilli, if you have pieces around him, if you have future defensemen that you look to an organization and say that's going to make a legit playoff push in years to come, I don't know if you're a Blue Jackets fan how you can be anything else but optimistic in the future after what you saw yesterday and what you've got for these next 3 games that'll culminate next Thursday in a game in front of your home fans against the New York Islanders to end the season that I think everybody kind of just gets to appreciate what this team was this year.
Yeah. And I going back to Jack Greaves, I mean, like you said, get his first career shutout. Yep. Pretty awesome moment for him. I don't know if he's the future here at goaltender. I definitely think, and this was also brought up on the broadcast, I love, by the way, that ABC spent Sean McDonough is there talking the majority of the time just going, well, you got to give it to this Jackets team. They're playing great. They had all the storylines down. They're talking about Fantilli like he's Wayne Gretzky, which I love. Like, it was everything you want, right? It's like, talk about our team some. This is a cool story. This team is amazing. Yes, they have their issues. Yes, this franchise has had plenty of them over the years. But maybe if you put them on TV a little bit more, people would see what a cool story it is. Maybe we should just do a little bit more with that. But it was great to see the city talked about and the team talked about. I was like, oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Got the Little Italy Ristorante just dropped off some pies for us, some pizza from their
got a carbo load after that race.
Their truck. That's all you, Reiser. There you go. You earned it.
I think I did.
But yeah, I feel like where this Jackets team is now, seeing how people are talking about, you got a lot of pizza.
That's good.
No, but this is what we want from this Jackets team.
You do the rest of the show.
We want them to be talked about. We want people to know how good this organization is. So it's not something we've always been able to talk about.
Nope.
But the way that they're going right now, give us an opportunity next, this season and then on to next offseason, no matter what happens this season. If you make the playoffs and make a run, you still have to address goaltending. You still have to figure that out. It's not, you got to go out this offseason and do something like that. So plenty of issues in the offseason, but we're not there yet. We're still locked into this season. Let's see what the Jackets can make happen.
So I had teased incredible story or an incredible collapse with Rory McIlroy, who right now leads at 12 under. The final round of the Masters is going on right now. Rory doesn't go until about 2:30. Him and Bryson DeChambeau are your top 2 in the leaderboard. DeChambeau at 10 under, carded a 69 to 2 of the 3 rounds. I'm sure him and his buddies afterward were like, oh, nice score, bro. At 3, Corey Connors is at 8 under. Patrick Reed, Ludwig Oberg at 6 under. Jason Day, 5 under with a gaggle of other golfers, including Scotty Scheffler. Yeah, Rory, all you got to do is just not choke and win the Masters, right?
Yeah, easy to do.
Easier said than done.
The 4th round at Augusta in the final pairing. You're going to have the sun setting on you as you're heading out to the 18th green. You hope
they couldn't have asked for a better Sunday, though.
No.
I don't know how the conditions are at Augusta, but the storyline sets up to have a Masters unlike any other.
Well, and if it's anything like what we saw yesterday, you saw some amazing golf, so it should be awesome.
I guess we're rooting for Rory. Again, 971 the race if you want to participate with us Saturday, June 21st in Westerville.